If you're new here, just say bonjour. Bonjour. Bonjour Omerta. Bonjour Annette. Bonjour Ariane. Bonjour boy. So one, we have une ou un. Okay? So we have put this because for the female gender. Number two, do, voila. Then we are going to write how they're pronounced. Okay? If you're interested in these classes, remember to follow me. 3. We are going to read them. Okay? No, we are at number 4. How do we say 4? 4. Voila. How do we say 5? 5. So 6, voila, 6. So how do we read un? Un. 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 Okay? Remember, anywhere that you are, wherever you are seated now, whatever you are doing, just remember to repeat after us, okay? Un. Une. Un. Une. Une. So it's gonna sound something like this. Une. Une. Gonna sound something like this. Une. Une. Ou I. Une. Une. Okay? Une. And this is un. 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 Just repeat after us. Une. Un. Une. Un. Une. Un. How do you read two? How do you read two? You read it as do. So if you're Kenyan, nika unaambia msee do, like pesa. Do. 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 Do, je pense pas. This is how it comes out actually. Do. Do. How do we say 3 in French? So if you have been in the previous classes, the last class we were actually focusing on the pronunciation R. In French, there's no R. It is R. Anywhere you see R, you're gonna be saying R. Anywhere you see the R. So that is why I write. So how are you gonna read this? T, which is perfect. Then we have the R. So I try to write R avec un H à côté. Then O and I. So this is how it's read. Trois. Trois. Wa. O and I brings about the pronunciation wa. Wa. That is why people say French is kind of tricky, because whatever you write is totally different with whatever you speak. Trois. R. R. Trois. 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 Okay. Who knows how we read 4? So this is how we're gonna read. Ka. T. Then we have the R. Quatre. R. I try putting this so you can put an emphasis on the R. Okay? Quatre. 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 Trois. Deux. Une. Un. Une. Un. Deux. Trois. Quatre. 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 Cinq. Cinq. So I try to write it like this. So I see most of you are actually getting it. I try to write it like this. It sounds like past tense of sink. So you can either read it as this, sank, or you read it as past tense of sink. Okay? So this is how it comes about, any of this. Sank, 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 sank. Quatre, trois, deux, une, un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq, cinq. How do you read 6? How do we read 6? You can read it as 6, or you read it as 6. I mean, both of these bring about the same pronunciation. Une, un, une, how it's written, okay? Une, or you can just read it as une if this is easier for you. Une, okay? Un, two, do, trois, trois. The R, remember to put an emphasis on the R. That is why I try to write it with an H. Quatre. Five, this is how it's written, and this is how it is read. I mean, cinq. Six, six. So this is actually fortunate enough because we are fortunate enough with this because it's written how it's written in English. So it's easier. Six. Donc, let's recap from up here. Feminine, masculine. Une, un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq, six. How do we say 7? How do we write it? Set. It's like you want to write September. Set. Okay? How do we write 8? How do we write 8? Wait. Nice. 9. How do you write 9? Nice. Voilà, les gars. So all of you here are speaking French, right? And how do we say 10? D-I-X. And how do we say 100? For Kenyans, how do we say 100? Because you say that each and every time. Nisaidie so. Nipe so. Kona so. So you guys are actually speaking French, but you don't know. So that is how it is written. How do we read 7? Nice. Set. You just read it as set. S-O-T. Set. Fasila. How do we read 8? If we have an H, it's usually silent. So we just say wheat. We don't even say wheat. You say wheat. It's like the H is silent. Okay? Wheat. How do we say 9? Naf. Wanasoma tu naf. Juste comme ça. C'est facile, hein? So you have to remember how it's written and how it's just written as, you can read it just as naf. How do you read 10? And how do we read 100? Just how we Kenyans say it. So let's get down to reading. Set. Wheat. Naf. This. How do you pronounce this? So.